Hi, Mark Shepard, 7th degree black belt, Shorin Ryu karate. This video is going to talk about the basic foundation of all the study of karate, and that is the stances. You have to have a good foundation, whether you're building a house or learning an instrument or whatever you're doing, to be able to understand and learn the more higher techniques. And in karate, this is the stances. Without a good stance, you'll be off balance. You'll fall over. Your opponent will basically be able to take advantage of you, and this video will walk you through the basic stances of Shorin Ryu karate. So let's get started. First stance is what's known as a cat stance or a 7-3 stance. I'll do it with my left foot forward first. Basically, I'm facing the camera. That's where my opponent is. My body's turned 45 degrees off. My front knee is bent. My back leg is bent a little bit. This foot's off 45, this one's straight forward. And notice the heel is off the ground. It's not flat, it's off the ground. Why is it called a 7-3? Because by having that heel up, 70% of your weight's on your back foot, 30% on your front foot. You should be able to lift that front foot up and not really have to shift. It's good for a good snap kick as someone's rushing in at you. It's also called a cat stance because you feel like you're a cat, ready to pounce, ready to attack. Also, this stance is you want to be able to slide it back and it should clear your heel. If you were over, let's say, too far and I go to retreat, I'm going to trip and fall. The only way I'm going to win that confrontation when I'm laying on the ground is if my opponent's laughing hysterically because I tripped and made a fool of myself. So again, right foot forward, 7-3 stance, heel off the ground, 70% on the back leg, 30% on the front, should slide back, touch heel. Again, notice, heel's off the ground. That's a 7-3 in the cat stance. Your hands are typically up for cover, fingers together, fingertips underneath the eye level, elbows in tight, basically protecting the vulnerable area of the rib cage and the chest. Second stance is called the keba-dachi stance. It's also referred to as a horse stance because it's like riding a horse. Your legs bow out, your knees are bent, your feet are straight forward, and you're sitting down in it. Great stance for side-to-side attacks. Very stable, very hard to be moved out of this stance. One way to check it is if you pivot towards each other and come down, you have about a fist between the back of your heel and your knee. Pop back up. Typically, we will do this with our hands in nice tight fists at your waist, and this is where we will start to execute basic karate punches. You could do up blocks, you could do down blocks, do rising blocks, all sorts of fun techniques off the keba-dachi or the horse stance. Third stance is called a Zenkutsu stance. I'll do it with my left foot forward facing the camera. So, knee is bent, looking down. I see just the tip of my toes. My right leg, the knee is locked, nice and straight. Both feet are basically off 45 degrees from the front. In this stance, I have my hands up for cover, again, the elbows in tight, and my weight is pretty much equal distance over both hips. It's a great stance for both front and back attacks. I can launch kicks off of it. I can do a lot of things off of it, but this is called a Zenkutsu stance. This is with the left foot forward. Notice, I'll move over a little bit so maybe you can see it on the floor here. You want to have a line running between your toe and your heel. That is so that you could throw a kick out there and your hips just come naturally straight forward. You don't have to arc or make any other gyration. Makes your kick very efficient. And then, Zenkutsu stance, right foot forward. Again, knee bent, back leg straight, feet 45 degrees off your body, hands up for cover, upper body just turned, basically right over the center of your hips. Next stance is what's called the 60-40 stance. It's like a 7-3 stance, but the foot is flat. So, again, your front foot, this is a left one, front foot is forward, back leg is on an angle, both knees bent. This time your foot is flat. So during sideways, foot is flat. By dropping it from a 7-3 to a 60-40, slightly shifts your weight forward. Moves it forward a little bit. That's the reason why it's called 60-40. Now 60% on the back, 40's on the front. Again, this will be demonstrated in some of our katas and the like. And again, hands can be open for cover, hands can be open. Again, you can do a snap kick off the front foot, off the back foot, punch, all sorts of hand techniques can come off of a 60-40 stance. So that's with the left foot forward, And now, with the right foot forward. Again, 60-40 stance, 60% on the back foot, 40% on the front foot. And the last stance is called a free fighting stance. It's not really so much a formal stance, because it's going to be a little bit different for each individual, but it's really what you would use in a sport karate or a free fighting sort of situation. In this instance, you're going to turn your body off to the side, your feet are going to be pointed off to the side, and your weight's going to be equal over both feet. No, nothing really major about it. Your knees are about underneath your shoulders, and your upper body is turned. Again, minimizing the target area. If I face you like this, I'm giving you maximum profile. I'm that wide. As soon as I move my hips back a little bit, I just cut down several inches, and with my hands up for cover, I'm in a good defensive position for not getting hit in the rib cage or the stomach. So this is a left foot free fighting stance, and then a right foot free fighting stance. Again, it's something where you want to be nimble on your feet. You can move. You can do whatever you need to do to get into a position in a sport karate situation to possibly score points and win your match. So that's the basics of karate, the basic stances, and again, without those, most of the other techniques are not going to basically work as effectively if you don't have a good, strong foundation.